Okay, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, everyone. Today is the week 5 of book 6 that we'll be going through in the lesson. My name is Ali Jaffri, and it's the 22nd of Ramadan today. A very blessed day, inshallah. We'll talk about it as well in our class. Those of you who've been with us since day one or week one, I'm very happy that you are, continuing to learn, and inshallah, you would have benefit from the lessons as well. If you can all please have your same notebook that you've been using ready, because there will be a few things that you want to make a note of in today's class. So today is week 5, and we will be discussing aqaid and fiqh in the lesson, inshallah. Some rules for the class. Chat is restricted to myself only, so if you have to answer any questions, then or have a comment, then whatever you write in chat, only I'll be able to see that. And at times when I'll ask you, please use that facility to answer the questions and interact with myself. Okay. In case we have someone new joining today, MUS has got 7 books of the curriculum, and we have been discussing and learning from book 6 of the curriculum. All these books are available on Majlis Ulama website, majlis.org.uk. So you can download a PDF version for £1 from there as your reference. We are not covering the whole book in detail, but I've selected some topics due to importance that we'll go through in this class, and all the previous topics are available on Majlis Ulama YouTube channel as well. So as always, we would want to set the correct intention. Why are we in this class today, for myself and for all of you? There's no other intention apart from that, and you can say this with me: I want to learn to follow my religion properly, become a better person, and support my Imam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten his reappearance, inshallah. And let's start with the Quranic verse. Rabbi, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi zidni ilma. My Lord, increase me in knowledge. And with the fact that without Allah's help and a prayer to Him, we won't get any knowledge. So at start, we seek Allah's forgiveness and also ask Him to grant us the ability to learn in today's session. So today we'll be talking aqaid in the first part and fiqh in the second part, and our topic for aqaid lesson is adala. As I say always, these topics that we learn in the lessons can be taught to a very young person, for a 5 or 6 year old, and these same topics are taught in Hawza studies in the universities and seminaries as well. They are all taught at different levels. So what you may have learned about adala in the previous books or previous years, you're now moving ahead of that, and inshallah you'll pick up some new points relating to adala. As a recap, adala is one of our 5 Islamic beliefs that makes us a Muslim, and specifically a Shia Muslim. And adala means justice in normal terms. So let's discuss a bit about why is adala or justice important. Why do we have to worry about justice? Why can't we just carry on doing things and performing our actions and our day-to-day task? Just carry on doing that. Why do we have to think about impacts of why we're doing it, or what are we doing and what will happen if we do something? I've raised some questions, and you can imagine the answers yourself as well. What if everyone was treated differently? So you come across a lot of people. You come across your parents, your relatives, your neighbors, your school friends, your community people and friends, scholars. Meet a lot of people. The shopkeeper that you go and meet, when you buy something from the shops. Bus driver that you see when you're in a bus. So you meet a lot of people, and at the same time you deal with a lot of things as well. So you have a house that you live in. When you go out, you use some sort of transport. You see plants and flowers around, and imagine if you treated all of them differently. So the way you treat your neighbor is different to the way you treat your friend. And by treating, I mean like talking to them nicely, doing honest transactions with them, helping them out if they need. So you help out your friend, but when you see your neighbor in need, you don't help them. Let's say if you find a bus driver who is not feeling well, you would ask him for water, but your brother at home, if he's not feeling well, you don't ask him for water. So, how would that feel? The second question is that if there was no truth in there, so in your conversations and in your dealings, you sometimes tell the truth and sometimes don't tell the truth. If you are running late for a meeting or for school or coming back home, after school, and you one day you say that you were late because of the train being late. The other time you say you were late because you were with friends at that time. So you don't always speak the truth, but sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. How will the world be like if that's the case? And not just you speaking the truth, but other people to you as well. So when you talk to people, sometimes they tell you the truth and sometimes they don't. How would that feel? And the third question is, we all do mistakes in different environments. At home, we may do a mistake. For example, we're carrying a lot of plates and glasses, and suddenly they drop, or you're playing and the wall gets dirty because of that, because you're playing against the wall, or anything. If you're outside, and because of your action someone's get hurt. And what happens, like if as soon as you do a mistake, suddenly something happens to you. For example, you're not able to talk for 2 days if ever you did a mistake. Or you are the more you eat, you still feel hungry. So any sort of punishment, or you don't get to see your loved ones for 2 days, for example. So what will happen that after your mistakes, things are punished straight away. And one of the way to look at it, this punishment part, interestingly, is those of you who see their parents driving, and sometimes they, by mistake, they cross a red light, or they park in the wrong place, and you get a parking ticket. That is a form of immediate punishment. And how do you feel, or how does your parents feel that suddenly they get a big fine if they do something not deliberately, but by mistake? So the answer to all those things is that we won't feel nice if everyone treated us differently and we treated other people differently. If everyone didn't tell us the truth and we don't tell truth all the time, and for every single mistake, every time you say by mistake a lie, you get a punishment from Allah straight away. Or if you do something in your school, you get punished sort of straight away. All these things would not feel good. So adala means justice and being fair. And Allah has created a system where He wants to treat everyone with justice. So mistakes are not forgotten. That if you make a mistake, Allah will just forget about the mistake. But Allah gives you time and allows you to rectify the mistake or repent or do tawbah or realize the mistake, and then not do it again. Even if you do it again, then Allah gives you sort of more time because He loves us, more than anything. And the same attitude we need to have with people as well. So if someone treats us differently or doesn't tell the truth or punishes us straight away, as a reflection of Allah's adala, we need to ensure that we give them time, we are merciful, and we always tell the truth and always tell them as well to do the truth, to say the truth. So moving on, we need to see why does Allah need to be just? He's so powerful. He could do everything. So He could have just punished us straight away. Why does He do that? So one of the things we say that is that Allah is very loving and merciful and beneficent. But why is He just? There are some properties or characteristics of our Creator that makes Him just. And again, we should try and reflect as many of these properties as or characteristics as possible, so we can become better people like Allah wants us to be. So ignorance is one of them. Allah treats people with justice. And whenever we talk about Allah's justice, always combine it with mercy as well. So definitely justice will happen, but Allah is all merciful too. So Allah knows everything. Even if you hide something from people, Allah knows it, and that's why Allah needs to be just, because He can't just ignore, or there's not a time where Allah doesn't know something. Allah hasn't got any needs or greeds. So if you say truth or lie to people, you may be doing it for a reason. Or if you treat people differently, maybe you want to supersede them and become more important than them. But Allah doesn't have any of those needs, and hence Allah wants to treat everyone equally. Allah is also not under any pressure. For us, because of fear or because of respect, sometimes as well, which is not proper respect, we might do things which are not just. But Allah is not under any pressure. He just treats the people as they act, but with all the mercy as well. And finally, Allah doesn't do things for fun. So without no reason, when let's say you're walking outside and you see a plant, which is not in your way, which is not like looking ugly, or it is not causing any problems, and for no reason you just rip off that plant away, or just destroy it, in there. That is also part of justice, and you just did it for no reason or just for fun. But Allah, only treats people in how they work and how they act, not just for no reason. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just and merciful, and He is under no pressure or under no ignorance to not treat us justly. I just wanted to quickly mention an ayah from the Holy Quran, and it says in there very clearly that Allah does not wrong the people at all. So Allah doesn't treat people unfairly at all, but it's more the people that wrong themselves. So they treat themselves unfairly and also other people. So Allah has identified that, and our job is to make sure that we treat people fairly. So there is a bit of an activity now, which I'd like all of you to participate in. And we all of us won't have microscopes or telescopes in our homes. But if you can find a piece of paper, ideally an A4 piece of paper or a piece of paper from your notebook, and fold it so it becomes like a telescope. If all of you can do that, and let me know when you've done that. So find a piece of paper and just roll it so it becomes like a telescope that you can look through. And when you've done it, then I'd like to hear from some of you saying that, yes, that's done. Thank you. If you have any questions regarding that, then let me know. But it's just a plain piece of paper, roll it, and keep it ready as a telescope, kind of what the picture is showing. Once I have 4 or 5 answers, then I'll begin the activity. Thank you, Hassan, for saying that you've done it, and Iman as well. You can just take a paper out of your notebook, or just find a piece of, I don't know if you have like a newspaper at home or a printer paper. Just use that. So we have Ayan in the class, and Fareen, Qasim Ali, Robina Abbas, Zainab Batul. If you can all find a piece of paper, please. Okay, thank you. So what I want you to do is, thank you, Qasim, and thank you, Zainab, as well. What I want you to do is place that rolled paper onto your eye, and just point at something within your room, so that you are seeing that thing through that rolled paper, as if you are looking into a telescope. And let's say you're looking for stars, and you focus on one star only. So from that rolled piece of paper, you can see one star. So for example, like where I'm sitting, I've got a bookshelf in front of me, and if I use that rolled piece of paper, I can see one book in there. So if you can just look at something and let me know what you can see from that rolled piece of paper. Okay, someone sees a clock, Daniel sees, Iman sees a fish. I'm assuming that fish is inside a like a water thing, and inside an aquarium. Possibly someone else. Zainab sees a clock. Hassan Jaffri sees a phone. Qasim sees his brother. MashaAllah. Okay, so and now just remove that the paper away from your eyes, and then see, like, what else can you see apart from the clock, a fish, or a phone, or your brother as well. And you would notice that you can, when you had that little piece of paper in your eyes, you can only see one thing. But when you move that paper away, you see a lot of other things. And that is an example of justice. That when we do our actions, we only look at the small thing only. So if you are looking at just the clock, for example, in your room, and you make a decision that the clock is in the right place or not, you won't be able to do that unless you see the whole room and then find the best place where that clock should be. If you are looking at just the fish in your lens, then you won't know if that fish is in the right place or not, because you are very restricted to that part only. And what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows is the whole picture. So He can see us, uh, He can see our past, He can see our present, He can see our future, He can see where we are, where we are going, what we are thinking. And hence, like when He makes that decision to do something with us in terms of justice or mercy, He is the all-knowing and all-hearing and all-seeing for us. So he leaves us until we make the best decision, or if we are a good person, then he knows that, and he leaves us to perform other good actions and not take account into the mistakes that we have done. Now, when we are dealing with people, we can be worried about the same thing as well. So if someone treats you not nicely, then you could you could be rude to him straight away, or you could see that this person was nice to me all this time, and I don't really expect him to be rude to me. There must be a reason why why he is not talking to me nicely, and let me forgive him, and inshallah next time when I see him, he will be back to normal. Or if you do any other mistake, if if you talk to someone rudely, then think of yourself as okay, this is a mistake that I've done, I need to repent, but inshallah I will make this pledge that I won't ever be in this situation. So not just think about that situation only, like what you saw within your paper rolled, but think about the bigger picture and then make your decisions. Okay, so we have a Kahoot quiz, but we'll leave it to the end so we can do a Aqaid and fiqh together, inshallah. Let's just conclude on Aqaid. So just a few points which you can make in your notebook, and hopefully you've been making other points as well. Allah will always treat us fairly. And the way to see that is Allah is the one who gives us health, and Allah is the one who makes us unwell as well. So if you are healthy, like every day, inshallah you'll be healthy. Then thank Allah, and Allah is treating you well, giving you help. But in some days when you're not feeling well, then Allah has made you unwell for a reason. So don't think bad about Allah. He always treats us fairly and for a reason, and He is always merciful. So sometimes you will have, when you grow up, and you will have to manage money. Sometimes you'll have lots of money, sometimes you will have less money, but in both cases you need to thank Allah, because Allah is the one who gives you money and the one who takes money as well. Allah has also given us will and choice. So Allah doesn't make us do things. He's given us the will to go ahead and do things that that we can, and also a choice. There's a lot of things that we can choose from. We can do the mistake, we can not do the mistake, we can go one way or the other way, we can become religious, or forget praying and fasting. So Allah has given us both will and choice, and it's that is part of justice. When He will judge us at the end of the time or day of judgment, it won't be that Allah restricted us in doing something. We had the will and choice to do whatever we want. Allah treats us with justice and grace. So He doesn't forget the mistakes. If you repeatedly do the mistakes until the end of your life, then on day of judgment you will get punished. But in this world He treats us with grace, and we should treat people and things with justice and grace. I'll give you an example of water. Sometimes we use the tap, maybe like in the morning when we're doing our toothbrushes, and in the 2-3 minutes you're brushing, the water tap is on. That is counted as injustice with water, because you're just wasting it for no reason. So try and ensure that the water tap is off while you're brushing, and then turn it on when you need it. And lastly, let us just do good deeds more and more, so that Allah is happy, and the justice part is minimized. Let's just inshallah concentrate on more good deeds. Okay, we move on to the next section for fiqh, and today we'll be discussing purity. Again, like you may have discussed purity, this might be a reminder, but these are the same concepts that you need to learn again and again, so that you are clear on these. When we discuss purity, everything that we see by default is pure. So if you don't know about something, unless it's obviously the things that we'll mention, but everything is considered as pure. unless they are a najis things that become impure, so that the things that we make impure, or things that are called an najis, that are always impure. So you can't really clean them. And there is a list of things you can make a note of. And again, this video would be available later on as well. The urine and stool that we pass are an najis, so they can never be cleaned. If blood flows out from your body or from an animal, that is an najis. It can't be cleaned. If you see a dead body of an animal, then that is an najis. A kafir, which is an unbeliever, so those who don't believe in God as their creator, not including the Jews and Christians, are and so they can't be cleaned. Alcohol, dogs and pigs, these are all and najis people. I will talk about things that clean other things, but none of those. For example, water. You can't give bath to a dead animal's body and it becomes pure. So make a note of these 7 things. And there's a little note at the bottom which says, okay, so you see Iman has asked us to go back one slide. We'll go that quickly. If you can ask the specific question, please, that would be really good. Okay, no problem. Thank you. So there is a note at the end of this slide that some of these things have conditions as well. So we said human blood, for example, is an najis, but there are conditions where cold-blooded animals, so for example, the blood of a fish or some insects is not counted as an najis. All these rulings. So we talked about being baligh at the beginning of the lessons, and the age of 9 and 14, the lunar years, when a boy or a girl become baligh. One of the things that you have to do as soon as you become baligh is to follow a marja or do taqleed. And the reason you do that is you don't have enough knowledge to understand these fake principles, and in what cases what Allah wants and have prescribed for us. So when you do follow marja, they have a book of rulings. For example, Ayatollah Sistani has got a book called Articles of Islamic Acts, and in there is a section for najasat, and all these things are mentioned in very detail. And inshallah, when you grow up a bit, you can go through that book, or if you're good at reading and understanding, or have someone to explain that in more detail, you can go through that book now as well. So we've discussed about things that are an-najis, so that cannot be purified. And then there are things, every other thing that apart from the an-najis, if they become najis, for any reason, by touching an najis thing, then they can be cleaned, basically. And the cleaning agents are 3 types of things, and they are classified as nature, physical change, and spiritual change. And we'll just we'll go through the water, earth, and sun in detail, but I'll go through physical change and spiritual change now, and you can make notes of that. So physical change means that the state or the property of a thing changes, and that can make that can purify things. So, for example, we talk about istihala or chemical change, and if a najis thing undergoes a chemical change, then it becomes pure automatically. So the common example given is alcohol. if you see alcohol as itself, then it's najis. But if you mix a lot of things inside it, salt and water and other things, and all the properties of alcohol as a chemical changes, so it's essentially not alcohol anymore, then that liquid would become pure. Obviously, if you use pure things to do that chemical change. The second one is inqilab, and that means that if that means like change in properties itself. So if you mix some, again, so it's very similar. I mean, if you use the same example of alcohol, then that same property change can apply in there as well. That if something like let's say an example of wood, for example. So if you see a piece of wood and it's got blood on it, that makes it impure, you burn that wood and it turns into like big piece of ashes, for example, or like solid pieces of ashes, then those pieces would be pure and you can touch them. Intiqal means change in place. So if again, like one of the common examples, and you can read details about this in book 6 as well. The example that's given is let's say a mosquito bites you, and you kill that mosquito, and when you kill that mosquito, the blood comes out of it, and that blood, that blood itself is najis, but when it changes its place, so it goes into a mosquito and then comes out, then that blood is not najis. Number 4 is zawalul and najasa, which means disappearance of a najasa, and that is simply that on that piece of wood you saw blood, and then later on you can't find any blood on that piece of wood, and then that wood is pure. Istibra is related to urine. When you do pass urine, it needs to be cleared out from the system, so that after cleaning, it doesn't remain in your body, and then your body becomes pure. Remaining blood after slaughtering, you may not have seen this example in your lives here, but after an animal is slaughtered, usually in Qurbani time or sacrifice in Eid, a goat or a cow, the blood that comes out of that slaughtered animal is not najis. Spiritual change as well. So if there is a kafir, the person who doesn't believe in God, and he converts to Islam by saying the kalma, then that kafir becomes pure. Tabiya means if you follow someone. Sorry, one moment. Yeah, so if you are a different, you have a different belief, but your belief changes, then you can purify yourself. And Ghaibatul Muslim is if you know of a person, for example, like it doesn't apply in these times more, but that person is not present. So he had certain things that may have been najis, but you can't find the owner of that person, and in that case you would treat those things as pure. So if a Muslim's thing that he owns and he's not there, then those things which were najis before, will become pure. So let's go through some of the things that can be used to clean or purify the najasat, not the n in najis, the 7 things that we looked at, but those things that can be clean. So they were clean, they became impure, and now we are cleaning them. So water is the most common thing that we use, but yeah, but not all kind of water can be used to clean. So let's go through the 4 examples that we have over here. Rainwater is a good example. So if you have something which, for example, has blood on it, or have urine on it, or alcohol on it, and you put it in rainwater, so it washes away, then that thing becomes pure. You can use the water from well and flow it onto your things. Running water is the best one, where if from a river or a stream or a tap, this is most commonly used in toilets. So if you have running water in a toilet, then you can use that to clean yourself. And number 4 is very important, and sometimes taken as a not taken correctly. Cold water means water that is still. So water which is in a bucket, a glass, and for example, a swimming pool as well. So you can't use water, which is in one place, to clean other things, unless they have it's of a certain size. So the example given here is 1.5 bathtubs. If you have that much of a water, then it can be used, because then the water flows and it's not like really in one place. And the most common place where cold water is misunderstood is in the toilet. Some people, who don't have sprays in their toilets, use a bucket of water, or sometimes a cup of water as well, to clean themselves. And if you use a cup of water, or a bucket, or something, which is water in one thing, like a utensil, then you have to use it very quickly. So and also have to use it after the najasat has been cleaned. So when you have finished from your toilet, use one cup of water to clean the najasat first, and then after that, put water at least a few times, so that it rushes through, and then the place will be clean. So if you just use water once, which is in a bucket, then that place will not be clean. The second thing is earth, and earth cannot purify as many things as water. It can only purify the soles of the shoes, a few things only. It is tahir in itself, and it needs to be dry. And some of the things which you are not able to clean with water, or water is not available, then you can use some sand or earth to do some purification. And lastly, in these natural things, we have the sun. For example, you have something that cannot be moved. It's like let's say like a big mattress, that has been najis. The first step is to clean that najasat with water. But obviously the najasat will not go away, because it will get absorbed in the mattress, for example. You can then somehow leave that mattress in sun, and let the najasa dry up by the rays of the sun. Or if it's a wall that is najis, then when sunlight comes on it, it will become clean as well. Okay, so yeah, so that was just a tour of all the things that are impure and can be pured, or things that are impure and that cannot be impure, and what are the things that you can use to make an impure thing pure. So hopefully you have found a few new things in there, or have a reminder of what you already knew. Now tonight is a very special night, and it's one of the nights that you will wait for a whole year to come. So you have like nearly 350 days, and only this is the night, and it's only a few hours as well. So depending on when you break your fast up to Fajr, you only have 5, 6 hours, 7 hours, very little time within that night as well. It is one of the best nights possible, and I'd like you to concentrate on time management. So during this night, so all of you who are attending the class today, um, make sure you have a plan. First, try and be awake. That's the minimum thing that you can do. Even if you can't do any of these actions, just try and remain awake, because people who are awake during these nights get a lot of benefits as well. Obviously, if you do the more actions, then you'll get more reward too. Um, the first thing, there's nearly 14 things mentioned in there, and I'll just go through, really read them out. But this is your time management plan for tonight. Make a list of things you want to do. Give some sadaqah to start off the night. As soon as Maghrib happens, give out some sadaqah. Have a bath. Pray your Maghrib and Isha on time. Then, if you are fasting, then do your iftar, and if you're not, then sit with other people that are fasting. Say your amal of Laylatul Qadr. The standard, you can join them online on your computer with a community center, or look into a book and do the amal. And then try and play Salatul Layl tonight, which is played just before the Fajr prayers, and it's very, very recommended on tonight. So have a plan for tonight and make sure you utilize your time as wisely as possible. And just to show you the importance of tonight, in Quran, Surah Al-Qadr, it says, Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi shahr. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Laylatul Qadri khayrun min alfi shahr. This night is better than 1,000 months. And if one night is better than 1,000 months, you can imagine and do some calculations and see it's better than nearly 30,000 days. So what you'll do tonight, is multiplied by 30,000 days. So that gives us a bit of importance of what tonight is. Okay, let's move on to Kahoot for tonight, and have your mobile phones or laptops ready. And I will share my screen. If you can see my screen, then please drop me a message in chat, so I know that that you can see the screen. Okay, if you can put the PIN number into the Kahoot app, then we will have some questions from our lesson today, inshallah. We've got about 10 students in class, so inshallah I'll try and get you as close to 10 as possible. So we have Qasim, Mariam, Hassan, and Iman joining so far, and Zainab as well. If you don't have the Kahoot app, you could go to Kahoot's website on the computer that you're using. Just type in Kahoot in Google, kahoot.it, and then enter your PIN. If you are using it from a mobile phone, then you can install the Kahoot app and enter the PIN number. So I am waiting for another 3 people to join in. If you are having any issues, then let me know in chat, or if you're not able to join, then let me know so we can continue. Ayan Zaki, are you joining? and Rubina Abbas as well. You can let me know if you're joining, please. Okay, we got 7 people. Yeah, Mariam, thank you. I've got your name. So 8, and okay, that seems to be most of us. So we will. Oh, someone dropped just now. I will start in about 30 seconds because we've got a few questions to go through. Okay, we'll make a start. You can join in between as well because the pin number is displayed across. So let's start. The first question is, why is Allah just? Is Allah ignorant? Allah is not powerful. Allah can do things without a purpose. Allah doesn't need anything. Why is Allah just? Good answer. Allah is just because Allah is not definitely not ignorant. Allah is not affected by ignorance, but he is himself not ignorant. Allah doesn't need anything. He's what we call beniyaz. So he's not under any pressure to do it. So good answer. And Allah can do things without a purpose. Those of you answer that, and Allah always do things with a purpose. Um, he he um, he can't do things just without a purpose. So well done to all of you, got the answer right. And Iman is on the top. Okay, Allah is just because people wrong themselves. Is that true or false? Allah is just, but people wrong themselves. This is the ayah from the Holy Quran that we discussed. Good answer. Yeah. So Allah is just, he never wrongs, but it's the people who wrong themselves. Great. Qasim Ali moves to the top. Well done. Allah punishes immediately. Is that true or false? Well done. Allah doesn't punishes us immediately, because if He did, then we'll all be in like big trouble. Allah leaves us to repent and correct our actions, and then only will punish us if we continuously do mistakes on the day of judgment. So Daniel has moved on to the top now. Question number 4. What things are an najis? Well, it's only one thing. So what thing is an najis? Question is slightly different. Yeah, well done. Very quick answer from everyone. And Daniel still stays on the top. What are the 3 categories of mutaharat? So mutaharat are things that can change impure things into pure. The 3 categories that we looked at. Well done. So yeah, nature and physical change is right, but there is a spiritual change as well when we talked about kafirs converting to Islam. Well done. And Hassan moves on to the top now. Question 6. Is sun part of mutahharat? Well done. Yes, sun can be used to purify things. Okay, question number 7 again. When someone accepts Islam, they become pure. Perfect. All right, question number 8. Which physical changes are mutahharat? Change in chemical, change in properties, change in place, or all of these? Well done, yes. So we discussed physical changes, and 3 of them, the chemical change, change in properties, change in place, all of these are physical changes. Okay, Mariam Zaki moves on to the top. Question number 9. Can a glass of water be used to clean things? Just a glass of water on its own. Can it be used to clean things? The answer is actually false, which only one person got right. So what I said was that if it's only one glass of water, because the water is pure and in one place and not moving, only one glass of water would not be enough. You would need to clean the najasat first and then use multiple glasses of water to clean things. So maybe the question was slightly confusing, but if you have something, a water which is in one place in a glass, it can not only be used to clean things. Okay, Mariam Zaki stays on the top. Question number 10. Laylatul Qadr is equal to, and let's see who remembers the number. How many days is one night equal to? This is just a memory test and to remind us how big is this night. Yeah, very good answer. There was something 30,000. Those of you got 3417 right, that's perfect. So try and do some maths and see how many days are 1,000 months. Well done. And Mariam stays on the top. Question 11. As a mutahhir, water is better than what? So we discussed a lot of mutahharat. What is water better than? Sun and earth, soap and washing powder, sun and the moon, or earth and the wind? Good answer, yes. So water, sun, and earth are mutahharat to begin with, and water is better than sun and earth. All of them are mutahharat, but water is better than sun and earth. Okay, Mariam still stays on the top, and now the last question. Running water is the best mutahhir. This should be an easy one for everyone. So we're talking about running water compared to water that is in one place. And yes, running water is the best mutahhir. So if you can find, for example, a spray that the water is coming out from, a tap, or somewhere water is flowing from, that would be the best mutahhir. So let's see the results. Qasim Ali is in the third place. Hassan comes in second place, and Mariam Zaki comes in the first place. Well done, Mariam. Okay, let me go back to our PowerPoint and just finish today's lesson, inshallah. Okay, well done everyone who took part in the quiz in Kahoot. And just to summarize purity points, we need to know which things are najis and an-najis. So you've seen the list of things and how you can purify them. Know that it's not just water that purify things. Water can be one of the things, but there are other ways to purify things as well. And we should all try to keep clean all the time, as being unclean due to any reason affects all our activities, including all the prayers and duas as well. And final point is very important. Sometimes you know what is pure and impure, but others might not know. So learn yourself and tell people about the impure things and also how they can be cleaned. Let's end with the dua of Imam Zaman, and also please remember our Imam tonight in our prayers, and pray that Allah sends him back to us as soon as possible. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. O Allah, be for your representative, the Hujjat, son of Al-Hassan. Your blessings be on him and his forefathers, in this hour and in every hour, a guardian, a protector, a leader, a helper, a proof, and an eye, until you make him live on the earth in obedience to you and cause him to live in it for a long time. Inshallah. So the next class will be on Saturday, 23rd of May. Thank you very much for attending once again. And those of you who were there on time, please keep your notebooks in the same place and have the Kahoots installed. And inshallah, until then, may Allah keep us safe and everyone is safe. Please remember everyone in your du'as, your parents, your relatives, your neighbors, your friends, the Imam of our time, try and be awake all night. So until next Saturday, keep safe, and inshallah we'll see you then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Just 1 minute. I just wanted to ask you about the class for tomorrow, the Arabic class. Can you hear me?